Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the latest Elite FPL breakfast show with myself, Stevo, where we will be previewing, predicting game week 31 plus, whatever you want to bloody call it. Yes, but more importantly, I will be going through my wildcard team options. Me and Jason did a members only video last night. Now, if you're not a member, you ain't going to see it, but me and Jason kind of had a frank conversation. It's only like about 15 minutes long, a frank conversation about essentially yesterday's finale for the double game week and how rubbish it was. So if you want to check that out, you've got to become a member. End of. I can't believe there's 38 members. Quite extraordinary that we have 38 members. Absolutely fantastic. Hopefully you enjoy the additional content. It's very rare that we do it, but we are trying our hardest. I think that unofficial conversations may become the future norm because I really enjoy them. I think Jason becomes a bit more open. I think he's a bit more real at that point. He did his transfers last night. He didn't overthink. He just went, stuff it. I'm getting on with it. I'm wanting to do these transfers. Let's just do it. And he's done it. I think they're brilliant moves. He did Aguero and Pukki out for Rashford and Jimenez. I think they're excellent. And I just thought, yeah, it's just not overthinking. It's just doing it. And I was thinking about last night, well, as we all do, thinking about fantasy football and everything, and I was thinking about the words that I used in Virtually FPL, which is, I'm going to be taking what information I've used from Virtually FPL, my experiences from Virtually FPL, and I'm going to put it into this game. Have I? Nah, why would I? Well, actually, let me clarify that point. My brain is being overthinking everything, and I'm sick to death of doing that now. I'm not asking anybody what I should be doing from a wildcard team. I'm not interested. Do you know what? This is almost becoming a members video itself. I don't care actually, because all it does is I'll get some prat saying, shouldn't be doing this, you need to do that. And then somebody else saying, I think they're really, really good transfers. And then someone else going, yeah, but I don't care anymore. I'd rather just focus on what I've got. I will be going through my thought processes as to what I'm thinking of doing mine. I'll be more than happy to go through that. This is the current lineup that I've got from a wildcard perspective. It is as follows for people listening in on audio. We have Pope in goal, but I think I'm probably going to change that. You'll find out why in a minute. Also, while we got people in chat, can you guys let me know what the audio's like? Because I'm kind of playing around with it and I don't want it too loud. So if you could just let me know what it's like now. And where we go. So yeah, anyway, so my team up on screen for people listening on audio is Pope in goal, Doherty, Wan-Bissaka, Alexander-Arnold, Lascelles. I'm going with a 4-4-2 as of now, and then I'll give you a reason as to why. De Bruyne, Mane, Fernandes, Son, Jimenez, Rashford. And then on the bench, it is Button, forget him, Holgate, Hayden and Nketiah. We got 2 guaranteed starters in Holgate and Hayden, just in case any of those players. But, like I said, we'll get to my thought processes regarding the wildcard in a minute, because I have been playing around with 4-5-1s. That's right, a 4-5-1. Other different combinations regarding 3-5-2s, 4-4-2s. Just basically, it's like getting rid of Rashford, bringing in Martial, Danny Ings, bringing him in, and getting rid of Nick Pope. Don't get me wrong, you cannot judge Burnley on last night. And if you do, you're an idiot. That's as simple as it gets. Gabriel De Rock, thank you for that. So, I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Burnley. The result last night was well, you can watch the members video for me swearing. And interestingly enough, sometimes I've said this 1,000 times, I'm boring myself talking about this, but I find it very, 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 very difficult not to swear on stream. Right, okay, I get it. I swear on stream, but it's when I'm pushed. Examples being the reveal of the the Chelsea team news when Giroud started ahead of Abraham. Just laughable. But what really kicked me in the teeth was the fact that I saw that Egan got sent off. I didn't have a clue that this had happened. And I'm just looking at this, just thinking, I can't not swear. And for example, various other times when I'm just like, I can't pretend, not pretend's a stupid word to use, but I can't be sat here just being all holding my emotions in. It's a waste of time. My real emotions, like I can use like other words to describe how I'm feeling, but the reality is that I want to swear, and yeah, I'm fully aware that on live streams that I do swear, but last night from Burnley was just I'm laughing because it's just I predicted it anyway, 5-0. Because sometimes when I do my predictions, I keep saying this. The only thing that I'm good at is predictions. That's it. Funny enough, me and Daily Llama, we drew with our predictions. I got 11 points. Jason got 3. Daily Llama got 11 points. So Daily Llama getting 2 games bang on the money last time. He got West Ham Wolves spot on and Watford Leicester. Whereas I got the Man United game and the Spurs game spot on. And various other results that were either close enough or a correct outcome. But yeah, it's something that I do pride myself on predictions. But last night, you know when you predict something, but it's a lot worse than what you predict. I just, with Burnley, when it comes to cup games, when it comes to playing teams that Sean Dyche knows we're going to lose against, pretty much Man City and Liverpool, I don't know what it is with the performance. It's just so lacklustre and rubbish. It's so bad. And when you watch it, you're just like, why don't you just play it simple? Why do you have to be constantly kicking long balls up to the 2 strikers? It's a waste of time. Play it about a bit. Just pass it around. When you're up against a team like City, some of those goals were awful, like the Phil Foden opening one, the Mahrez first goal when he was the first goal that he got, just left wide open. We were just completely torn apart with that. Easy goal to score. The Phil Foden final goal, again, we were just tired legs. It was pathetic. But yeah, I wouldn't be judging Burnley on that result, but looking at that team last night, I didn't even recognise the sub bench. The 2 players up front, Rodriguez, is he a first teamer? Yes, but he's kind of like in competition with Ashley Barnes. So it's between them 2. Chris Wood's a guaranteed starter, but Vidra, he's not a first teamer. And just seeing the way it was literally a training ground match, that, and it was like there was even a moment where Kevin De Bruyne, I think he was having a laugh. Well, he was having a laugh with one of our defenders. I don't know who. I think I said it on stream last night. I was just like, says it all really. That Kevin De Bruyne is just having a laugh with one of our players when we're 4-0 down. It was a corner to... I think it was actually a corner to Man City as well. And just summed it up, that match. But I don't think that you can say that we're the whipping boys, because the reality is that being a Burnley fan is that I've seen this all before. We get battered, but following game we come back strong. Slight difference though. With this whole pandemic that's happened, going on, the return of the season, lack of training, lack of fitness, I personally think that we are more than on the beach. We are just cannot be bothered attitude. And I do, we're going to my predictions in a minute, to be honest with you. We'll do that in a minute. I'm predicting a lot of clean sheets this particular game week. I think that a lot of teams are going to have some fun with this game week. By the way, if anybody wants to come live on air and just give their predictions for a bit of a laugh, you're more than welcome to get onto the Discord waiting room. What do people think of the live streams at the moment, where we're getting X amount of people on? Like last night we had Drazera, Ramsey Sinclair, G-Wiz, Paulie, Dread FPL. They're all on at the same time. I personally enjoy it. I can only go on my own personal listener experience. I don't even listen to our streams anymore, to be honest with you. I've just stopped doing that now. I'm kind of sick to death of listening to my own voice. I only listen to Jason's streams now. And obviously if Daily Llama does the Llama Lounge, I'll listen to them. Although ironically, I did, because I wanted to clip something from my own stream and I completely forgot that I was watching myself. It was for the Sheffield. It was when I was going mad about the Sheffield United. Well, I mentioned a minute ago, the whole Sheffield United thing. I was just watching the stream and I was just like, this is absolutely hilarious. Even when you've got hindsight, it's just absolutely hilarious watching it. And I was actually invested in what I was talking about, which was really, really bizarre. Because it was the Aston Villa Chelsea game that I was commentating on, and then I get Paulie on and we're just having this. It was just surreal. And then I realised, oh wait a minute, we've got to do the Man City game in a minute. But anyway, that's beside the point. So yeah, what do you think about the multiple callers on at the same time? I really enjoy it. I really, really, really enjoy the multiple caller format. I think once you structure it in a way in which it's kind of like, you have your say, what do you think about that, whoever it is, that's interesting, what do you think about that, and you just dictate who speaks. When it gets a bit chaotic, it's a bit, oh, what's going on here, but I really, really enjoyed listening into the various callers that we get on. I like the format, and it'll be the same tonight when Jason covers West Ham versus Spurs. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to listening to it. I think I might do a match of the day style challenge where I won't know. I'll deliberately not listen to the results, and I may react, do a like a live reaction. I don't know, but it's going to be an interesting night because we do kick off with Leicester versus Brighton. Well, I'm just going to get on with the predictions now. Let's just get on with it. Let's just have a bit of fun. Like I said, it's the only thing that I enjoy, really, the predictions. So here we go. No one wants to come live on air, so I'm just going to go and do this solo. This is going to be really, really boring, but whatever. Right then, so we kick off with Leicester versus Brighton. Of course, Leicester having I think it's a terrible result. The way the actual game went versus Watford was awful. I was hearing reports about what was going on. I thought it was terrible, that match. Like I said, I was only listening in on the radio, but the match was terrible. Although Maddison was, based on the highlights, Maddison was very, very lively. I think for me, Brighton They've got their 3 points now. I think there are some teams, Brighton, Newcastle, Southampton. I think those teams, Crystal Palace is another one. I think the attitude may have been, let's just get 3 points no matter what. Or try and get 3 points, and then we can kind of cruise it to make themselves kind of like definitely safe. Because there were some teams this game week that's just gone that were just an absolute shambles. Norwich, Bournemouth, to name 2. Aston Villa, 3. Ironically, they're the 3 that are in the relegation zone. West Ham, that's 4. There's 3 or 4 teams which I'd be looking at thinking just avoid like the proverbial plague. And Leicester at home to Brighton. I think Leicester are going to turn it on tonight. I don't think it's going to be heavy scoring. I think that, again, it's going to be tight. But I do think that Leicester are going to pull through this. And I think it's going to be 2-0 to Leicester. I do think that 1 or 2-0. I can't see Brighton scoring. And Leicester will have enough to get through this 2-0. Spurs West Ham. Spurs are a hard one to call. You've got a manager who I need to listen to James from Planet FPL, see what he says about Spurs, to be honest with you. That will give me more of an insight into what he thinks, and then I can just... Maybe it may back up what I'm thinking, because what I'm about to say could be absolute nonsense. I don't think Mourinho wants to be there. I really don't. I think that the appointment of him was... Desperate's a very, very strong word, but it's a marquee name. Jose Mourinho, Tottenham Hotspur manager. Here, we'll pay you lots of money to be the manager. But Mourinho wants money to spend. He ain't getting it. He's a defensive manager. We saw what happened against United. Goes 1-0 up, and then he wants to win 1-0. No matter what quality of player he's got, he just wants to get the 3 points. The worst thing is that he needed to win to at least catch Man United. I think they're still 8 points behind Champions League spot or whatever it is. They've still got to play for. There's just something about them which I don't trust. However, saying all that, they're against West Hampton. Who the hell's West Hampton? West Ham. Oh, just awful. Awful, awful, awful. It's a local derby. I'm going with the same scoreline. I think Spurs are going to win this 2-0. I think it's going to be an awful game though. And it's going to be 2-0, and Jason will be covering that tonight. Now, this is the night that I'm looking forward to. It's Wednesday. We're going to be covering all the games. Well, the early kickoffs, the 6 o'clock kickoffs. We've got Man United, Sheffield United, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Norwich, Everton, Wolves, Bournemouth. And there's a lot of similar scorelines, which you'll hear in a minute here. And United up against Sheffield United first. 2-0. I think United are going to punish Sheffield United here. I think that they ain't got a Henderson, no Egan. O'Connell's 50-50. And by all accounts, Sheffield United, again, they're looking a bit toothless. And I do... You know with some teams that they've done their best. They got to whatever place they're in, 6th, 7th, whatever it was. They were like 2 points off Champions League, whatever it was. And it's like this pandemic has kind of like restarted them. And they've kind of gone back to what everybody thought, or have reverted to a position where people thought they may have started the season, which is just lacklustre, nothing about them, can't score goals. But again, by all accounts, they were lucky against Aston Villa to get a point. Yes, I don't want to go over the goal that never stood, I get that, but Aston Villa should have won. But Aston Villa are useless anyway, so they doesn't surprise me. That ended 0-0. They lose 3-0, albeit with 10 men. Egan getting sent off after 50 minutes. I just think Man City are going to have some fun here. I've gone with a safe 2-0, but could they get a third, fourth maybe? Perhaps. Newcastle Aston Villa, do you know what? I just fear that Aston Villa may turn up for this game. I really do. However, I do think Newcastle have just got enough in the engine to see this game out. Again, they're another team which I worry for. They got their 3 points against Sheffield United, and are they going to have the psychological attitude of, well, we're completely safe now, let's just take the foot off the gas? I don't know. However, I do think that Newcastle will pull through this, but I do expect Aston Villa to score. And I'm going 2-1 to Newcastle. Norwich Everton, 2-0 to Everton. I think it's just going to be a professional job. Everton just going to get a couple of goals done. Wolves Bournemouth's interesting. A lot of talk about Captain and Jimenez. Again, another clean sheet here. Bournemouth, apart from Harry Wilson, apart from David Brooks, Bournemouth looked terrible. Bournemouth really disappointed me, to be honest with you. I was hoping that they would do something versus Crystal Palace, albeit I said it would be 0-0, but they looked awful. For a team that are supposed to be fighting to stave off relegation, they were... they made us look good. And Wolves, if they don't get a clean sheet here, this laptop's going out the window. Wolves 2-0. Liverpool Crystal Palace. Now this is very, very interesting, this one. Really interesting game. Crystal Palace looking good. They look good in that game. They look too comfortable. Okay, they were against Bournemouth, who were absolute awful. Crystal Palace look good though. They look like they wanted it more. Liverpool on the other hand, we saw that. Again, I've got this thing on Liverpool. I just think that they should have just gone for it in the first 20-30 minutes. Just get that one goal and then just contain Everton. That's all they needed to do. I know it's easier said than done. But I do expect Liverpool to come out of this. But I do expect Crystal Palace to score. I do. I think Liverpool will win this, and I'm going 2-1. Burnley Watford, we've just spoken about them. Burnley could come back and do something here. However, I just think Nigel Pearson is going to be... we've got a good record against Watford, to be fair. We actually do have a very good Watford against... a very good Watford against record. We have a very good record against Watford. But I just think that Watford, they just seem like they've got something like they're playing for. They look like they're actually playing for their manager. That result versus Leicester really, I think, sparked them. And I fear here, and I do actually think Burnley are going to lose this. I think Watford are going to win this 1-0. I really do. I really, really do think Watford will win this 1-0. Southampton Arsenal. Now, this is my big shock of the... Well, can you call it a shock? I actually think that Southampton are going to batter Arsenal here. I think this is the kind of game where this could be really, really dangerous for Arsenal. And I think Southampton are going to have some fun here. I'm thinking 3-1 to Southampton. I really, really do. And that's why I'm very, very, very tempted to go with Danny Ings. I really am. And then finally, Chelsea v Man City. Am I going to be right? Everybody getting rid of Man City assets. People like me. all those double game week players that failed to show up, or whatever, however you want to look at it. I do think Man City are going to have some fun here. I really, really do. Chelsea cannot defend. They can't. Man City, on the other hand, can. And they can score goals. That's why I think this could be 3 or 4 to Man City. I'm going 3. I'm going 3-1. I do think Chelsea have enough in them to get past City. City haven't been tested over the last 2 games. At least Chelsea look like they're going for something. At least they're doing something. At least they look like they've got a fight in them. They look like they wanted to score goals versus Aston Villa. Could have got more. I do think they'll score against Man City, but I think Man City will come out of this 3-1. I've gone with 3-1, but it wouldn't surprise me if it ended 4-1. Something like that. All interesting picks there. Let me just quickly bring on, I think this is Anurag. Let's see what Anurag has to say on the upcoming game week. Let's bring him live on air. Let's have a quick conversation with him. Hello, Anurag. Anurag, you're live on the breakfast show with myself, Stevo. Can you hear us?
This is not Anurag.
Oh, who is it?
It's BMC. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about prediction 31.
Sorry?
So your predictions for 31. I agree with most of them, but there were a few I wanted to sort of talk about and have my say.
Go for it.
So I definitely think that Liverpool Palace is going to be low scoring. I'm not sure that Liverpool really, like, ever since February, like, look at their results in February and March, or no, February before the season ended. They obviously lost to Watford. They lost to Chelsea in the Cup. They lost to Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Something's been missing from Liverpool, and they haven't really found it versus Everton. So I do think Liverpool will have enough to win it, but I can't see them scoring more than once, to be honest. 1-0 to Liverpool, probably.
I do agree. I think that it's going to be a very, very low-scoring, tight game. Crystal Palace. I believe Crystal Palace have now kept 4 clean sheets in a row, something like that.
They have.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines.
Yeah. And they did look good against Bournemouth. I know Bournemouth were absolutely pants, but you know, they did a professional job at the end of the day, and
they did. That's what Palace will give you.
Yeah. They're no idiots.
Yes. Anyway, other one I have to talk. The two games on Tuesday. I can see Jamie Vardy stepping up against Brighton. Now there is talk that he is on 99 Premier League goals.
Yes.
And I'm sure he will definitely want to hit that 100th goal. And while he didn't really have the greatest of games against Watford, he did have a couple chances. If I remember correctly, there were a couple that came close. So maybe Leicester get a few more, maybe 3 or even 4 now.
4-0.
3 is probably realistic.
Well, even 3-0, that's a high-scoring game. You think that Leicester are going to punish Brighton for their upset against Watford?
They could, but I mean, Brighton, I don't know what they're going to be playing for right now, because like if you look at the table, they are still somewhat in the relegation battle. Like I wouldn't call Brighton safe, even though they are 4 points clear. But maybe the fact that they beat an Arsenal, you can look at it 2 ways. Either that's going to inspire them to go on an even better run, or maybe that they just got those 3 points, like you said. They're just going to be a little more relaxed. No, I said Newcastle Villa, that game. I think it could be wide open. As much as Newcastle defend tightly and Villa can't really score, I do think it will be a lot more open. You said 2-1 to Newcastle, right? That's true. Yeah, that's what City are doing right now. They are having fun. As for Villa though, like the way I see Aston Villa is if they don't win this game, they're going down.
Yes.
This is literally their final chance.
Agreed. Do you think
So
the
maybe they'll be a little more up for it.
Do you think those two matches though against Chelsea and Sheffield United have kind of crushed any hopes that they may have had?
I watched both of those matches, and I have to say they were really unfortunate not to get more points out of them.
In what respect?
The game back in the team has helped them, but they are still pretty wasteful. And obviously, you saw those two quick goals that Chelsea scored. They were just straight back to back, the same mistake. It seemed like the same goal was being replayed. So if they are gonna keep having those lapses, then they could struggle even further. Because you remember there were a lot of games when Villa were in winning positions, but they lost the lead. You remember earlier the season when they played Liverpool, they were actually 1-0 up for most of the game. And then they lost very last kick of the game to Spurs. So I think their issue is gonna be holding on to leads and putting games to bed early on, but they haven't really done that. So this could potentially be their downfall.
Yeah, would you argue that this is a 6 point to this match?
I wouldn't say 6-pointer because of how far Newcastle are ahead, but here's the thing: if Newcastle win and the teams around them don't do well, they could be in the top half.
Yeah, and to think we all
another team to watch out for. Yeah, go for it.
Well, we all laughed when Steve Bruce was appointed, and well,
I think the players have a point to prove before the takeover.
Yeah.
The final team I want to talk about is Southampton. Now, I don't know how to look at Southampton because, yeah, they beat Norwich 3-0, but Norwich are the bottom team of the league, and you can't take a result against them for granted. But at the same time, their manager is pretty no nonsense, and here's some of the things he said before and after the match. He believes that this squad can push for a top half finish, and I wouldn't be surprised if Southampton go on a run, even with their tougher fixtures.
Hold on a minute, you said that the Southampton manager came out and said that?
I remember he said something that was like, I think this squad can be pushing for top half.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. But didn't who did he manage in Germany? Who was it again?
I can't remember exactly.
Did he do really, really well for them though? Hasselhoff.
I remember he was a manager that was talked about for even better high-profile jobs. But when he came to Southampton, I was pretty excited to see what he could do. I'm checking right now. He actually came from Leipzig. No way.
So, but what are you expecting though from that specific game then versus Arsenal?
A complete whitewash.
Oh, you're expecting a lot
in
of goals.
Southampton's favor.
You think?
I can see Southampton putting 3 past them. I have Danny Ings on my free hit team right now.
Well, that's interesting. That beautifully links me into what are your plans ahead of this specific game week? Tonight, basically.
Yes, I am on the free hit right now.
Are you able to post your team in team screenshots, please?
Sure, my free hit team? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. If you put your free hit team in we'll be able to talk about it then because it just makes it a lot more easier.
I would love to because it is really out there.
Because this would be fascinating to see what you're doing. Because obviously I'm on a wild card, and
Yeah,
I've pretty
but I'm
much got.
thinking for one game week, so some of the fixtures that we have this week, they are just really juicy, and
I agree.
I wanted to capitalize.
Yeah,
So yeah, don't be surprised by the formation.
here we go. Right then, let's just put it up on the screen and let's everybody see what you're doing. So this is a free hit, and let's find out what you have done. So here we go.
I've had some fun.
We've got to. So let's just quickly go through with it. It is as follows. We have Patrizio in goal, excellent fixture against Bournemouth. Dina, nice punt. Richie, nice. Oh, I'm looking at Richie to bring in my team. He's playing on the wing, isn't he? On the front three, is that right?
Looked like that at times, and he takes penalties.
Alexander-Arnold, don't need to talk about. Doherty, again, don't need to talk about. Son, he's an interesting one. We'll get onto him in a minute. Mane, we all know. Fernandes, Vardy, Ings, Jimenez. Pretty as you'd expect, but Son and Fernandes. Fernandes, more specifically, the captaincy. What are your thoughts on why you're going with Fernandes captain?
It's on him at the moment, but honestly, it could go to anyone in this team.
Yes.
Maybe even Trent if I wanted. Like, the fixtures this week are just too good to be ignored. I want to talk about why I went for a big at the back, because that is something that might raise a few eyebrows. So the main reason why I went big at the back is because looking for value in this team is tough. I've got some really big hitters in the attack. So looking for like a 6 million midfielder, someone like Harvey Barnes didn't impress me.
No.
In that price range, Sarr might not do well against Burnley. Grealish has got Newcastle. Anything can happen there. Mount might not even start, and he's playing City. So just looking at that price range, it was hard to find anyone that I was really excited about. So I thought, hang on a second, we can look for defenders, high impact attacking defenders. There's just so many opportunities to get points out of defenders. Clean sheets, attacks, if the game's low scoring, bonus points. So maybe just for this 1 week, high impact defenders at the back can outperform cheap midfielders and forwards.
Well, I just want to just quickly add on to that. I actually remember when Show Me the Mane came on the show. Well, didn't come on the show, but you've mentioned in chat that should we be moving forward with actually 5 at the back and go with like a 5-3-2 formation or a 5-4-1 formation? Because looking at the game so far and looking at kind of like, again, I'm not going to proclaim to be an expert, but I've seen a lot of clean sheets in the Bundesliga and in La Liga. We've seen a lot of clean sheets this specific game we've just gone in the Premier League. Do you actually think it's better off investing in defenders? Because, let's be honest here, attacking-wise, there's just not really been that much from many this particular game week.
Hey, you say that in La Liga. I've actually noticed Barcelona have kept a clean sheet in every single game so far, which is worth thinking about. Just the fact that maybe it was just because it was the first game back, teams weren't really going for it. But I just do think, especially when you're playing teams on the beach, like maybe not some good examples of my team, but Liverpool are playing Palace. I could even go for Wan-Bissaka or Maguire if I wanted to. If you look at the teams that Man United are playing, a lot of them are towards the end. Actually, no, they're first playing Brighton, Bournemouth, Villa, but then Southampton and Palace, those two are teams on the beach, sort of. And then Wolves, they're playing Everton and Burnley and Palace at some point. Just those sort of mid-table teams, they're not going to do much. So maybe going for defenders that are playing against those teams might be a good idea. Whereas I think the relegation fighters might have something to give, but Bournemouth, Norwich, and Villa, I don't see them doing much, whereas in West Ham, but someone like Watford or Brighton, those ones are like, I think I can see a lot of fight in Watford specifically, because you remember Nigel Pearson, he is an expert at great escapes. And not like Watford need a great escape, but they shouldn't be 16th. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. No, I do understand. Yeah. Yeah.
Watford with that squad should not be in the relegation battle. So yeah, again, high impact defenders. That's a word that has been thrown around in the FPL community. Just because, like, if your defender gets a clean sheet, a goal, and maximum bonus, that's 15 points, which you would dream to have from a cheap midfielder or striker. So, and even just one assist, like clean sheet, assist, that's 9 points already, plus any bonus. So, double-digit hauls for defenders are not out of the question.
But it's always a lottery with defenders. That's the issue.
That is, but
However,
like if the clean sheet goes away, that's 4 points.
yeah. However,
A clean sheet is worth more than assist. Yeah, go for it.
I do think. I mean, you were playing along with us the virtual FPL game, and I did notice that there are certain defenders, and even in real life, where you could probably comfortably put the captaincy on within reason and just be happy that there's a very, very, very high chance that they'll get a clean sheet at least. Take Trent Alexander-Arnold as an example. There's probably there's a more of a higher chance of him getting a clean sheet and just stick with that safety of, let's just say 7 points. So 6 points plus a bonus point. That's 7 points.
Yeah,
14.
That's what he got against Everton. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Whereas I captained Trent once in the real season and then twice in the virtual game. Alonso's been captained a lot in the virtual game,
yes.
And people are talking about captaining Doherty this week.
Yep.
Just because Bournemouth are absolutely toothless.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, again, the way I like to choose captains is always captain the player that has the highest ceiling. Especially at the end of the season. Sometimes we underestimate how much captaincy can add to our team. If you captain a player that gets 20 points, that's 20 more points. And if you captain someone that only gets 2 points, that's a missed opportunity. It's literally like having an extra player.
Yes, and that's what the downfall is for most of my seasons so far this year. What happened in virtual FPL, I got players scoring around me, as in like my own players, but the one player that I needed to do well at, i.e. my captain, just always failed, and it drove me up the wall. I do like the free hit you've got here. We get to the 5 o'clock deadline or whenever it is. How many of these 11 are you definitely going to have?
I'm definitely going to have all the Wolves players. Definitely Trent. Bruno's going nowhere. I don't think Son is going anywhere. A decision I'm having to make is Ings or Calvert-Lewin, and I think it comes down to the defense. Like, they're both playing defenses in very bad shape. Like, Arsenal just lost Leno. Luiz is still out. As much as Luiz is memed, he is still a much more experienced center back than what they have now. Whereas Calvert-Lewin's going against Norwich, who have nothing in the back, but at the same time, I can't really see. Like, I can see Calvert-Lewin going nuts, like he has been this season, but at the same time, it's just, again, I know away from home doesn't really matter, but maybe Norwich will have something to give. Maybe they will be hungry maybe they'll defend a bit tighter, because they're not completely out. Like, they must have seen how bad Villa and Bournemouth were and been like, if we get a run together, we might have a chance. I don't know. It is a tough decision between the two of them because they're both very similar priced. But other than that, I think the team stays as it is, but the captaincy is going to be a headache.
Do you think the safety option this week is Fernandes, or do you think going with someone like Mane? Because I remember hearing on I think it was Andy on Let's Talk FPL. I think he may have been talking on Fantasy Football Skype, but whatever.
Yeah, I listen to him regularly.
He said that something words to the effect of captain the safety option. So, for example, Mane, just as a simple example, Mane, but make sure that you've got the other players which are probably going to do well this game week. So in your case, for example, you've
yeah.
got Fernandes as captain, and this is your free hit. But have you not thought about just going with quote-unquote safety with Mane, but at least you've still got Fernandes, players like Son, Jimenez, Doherty, etc. that could cover the other points? Because the majority of people will be going safety this week in Mane. I just don't see that many people going out their way to be captaining someone like...
I look at the players that I have right now. Hang on a second. It is a bit loud here. Let me go back. Let me go somewhere else. So I look at the players I have now. I think a lot of them are going to be in the captaincy choices, except maybe Salah, who I don't have. He is going to be captained by a lot of dead teams. And maybe Rashford or Martial. I don't have them. But other than that, I look at the players that I have. Like, all of them are going to be captained. It's just a matter of who's going to be captained more.
How are you... Obviously, you're very active in Discord. You're obviously in the Cash Mini League. What are you focusing on? I've probably asked you this before, but what are you actually focusing on this season? That Cash Mini League? The James Wang one, obviously?
Well, my score in Double Game Week 30 and how much I've gone up the ranks has given me a lot more confidence because I only had 6 Double Game Week players. I wasn't expecting to do too well, but I ended up scraping 100. I got 103.
Oh, nice. Well done.
My rank is up to 366,000. So I'm just looking, honestly, I don't have a specific aim in mind in terms of rank. I'm just looking to go as high as I can.
But are you not focusing on, say, the James Bang Mini League?
That isn't mine. And I look at the leader right now. He's on 130 something. But if I have a good free hit this week, I could really go ahead, overtake a lot of people, and just try and build an early lead over some rivals, or like an early push.
I want to ask you something because at the start, I don't know if you heard it or not, but at the start of the show, I just said that I'm not looking at this chat or anything for advice on my wildcard team. I just want to do it on my own. I want to go on my own terms and conditions and just not be, my mind being swayed by other people to tell me what I should be doing. I just want to stick to my own decisions. At least that way I'll be happy with what I've done. But there's a lot of people in here, and I want you to defend yourself. There's a lot of people in here saying, where's Man City? You've got no Kevin De Bruyne. There's no Jesus. There's no Mahrez, Silva, whatever. Why haven't you got any Man City? And what have you got to say to people that are just going on and on about the fact that you need to get Kevin De Bruyne in this team, despite it being a free hit?
That's the thing. Kevin De Bruyne was the big contentious decision, but the moment I talked myself into this whole big at the back thing, Kevin De Bruyne was the first one out the door of my team. Obviously, he's coming back for Game Week 32, but I think when you're on a free hit, you're looking to build a squad that will get the most points for one week and only 1 week. And I think Kevin De Bruyne, his ownership in the game is 51%, which is quite a lot, but I don't imagine that many of the active managers are going to be captaining De Bruyne this week. They're going to be captaining Salah, Mane, a Man United player, Son maybe even Jimenez or Vardy. The captaincy is so spread out this week that maybe one of them's. You know about effective ownership, right? And how that whole thing works. Yeah. So there are going to be a lot of I think Jimenez's effective ownership is going to be close to De Bruyne's because people are going to look at that Bournemouth fixture. They're going to look at Jimenez's consistency because that's another thing about Jimenez. He's not explosive in terms of being able to get a double-digit haul when he wants to. If I want to captain someone explosive, I'd probably pick Vardy in my team because he could just pop up and score a brace against Brighton, even though I don't think that's likely, but he has it in his locker. But Jimenez is a more safety net captain. So I could see someone like him potentially matching De Bruyne's effective ownership. Then there's obviously Mane and Salah. People might look at that Everton game. Salah didn't start. They might say that, Mane played, and even if Salah starts, Mane is going to be sharper. So even Mane's effective ownership could be near De Bruyne's. So just the fact that this game week has so many strong captaincy shouts means that this is a good week to go without Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I don't think you've actually said what you think the score will be on the Man United game, going with Fernandes' captaincy. What are you actually expecting?
The reason it was on Fernandes at the start, but I saw something that might make me want to change my mind. I heard that he actually said to the media that because I didn't watch that Spurs Man United game, it was pretty late here. But he said that because apparently United won another penalty, and he said if it was awarded, he would have let Rashford take it.
Yes.
So maybe Rashford will take the next penalty they win.
Well, again, there's no clarification, but what I can only base this on my own opinion. I think quite a few people actually kind of agree with me, but I think it only means that if it's a second penalty within the game. I don't think that, let's just say for argument's sake, Sheffield United concede a penalty and then Fernandes goes, here you go, Rashford, this is for you. I think that if Sheffield United were to give away another penalty in the game tonight, I think that's when Fernandes goes, here you go, Rashford. I think that's what it means. We don't know for fact, but I just can't see.
I don't know, but maybe it was lost in translation. I don't know, but I don't know if he even said it in English, but he said something that's like, I'm a good penalty taker, but so is Rashford. So that's up for interpretation as well. But I don't know. This captaincy decision is literally probably one of the hardest this game week. Like, again, safety option is probably Jimenez or Mane. Explosiveness, Son or Vardy, or even Ings against that leaky Arsenal defense could be tasty. So...
Well, this is what I was saying to you just a few minutes ago about the fact that you've got all the players that you think and the majority of people think will do really, really well. It's just a case of, again, going back to what you said about getting that captaincy right. Let's just say, for argument's sake, right, if this was my team and all those players, they're all popular choices to who's going to score quite heavily. I've seen Booner in chat saying, you know, Son's going to do well, Kane's going to do well. Just a bit of fun. But point being is that it wouldn't surprise me that it will literally just come down to you getting that captaincy decision right. Because for all we know, all those players could get you a minimum of, 6 points each. But you've gone and captained the one player that gets you 2. We will never know until the game week ends.
Yeah.
But
or
so long as you've got...
all of them get 6, but one of them gets 10, and I don't captain the one that gets 10.
Yeah.
That's all.
But at least...
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah. But at least you have those players, and that's the way that people are kind of wanting, or should be wanting to play this game. Just get those...
The thing is, another thing about the fact that the captaincy is so tight, I think, first thing when the deadline files, I'm going to hop on Live FPL and see what the captaincy statistics are, just because I want to know what it turned out to be. I think with so many managers undecided on the captaincy, we could get a pretty close to even split among some of the options. Like, there's going to be plenty that will want to go aggressive, captain someone like Vardy or Son, who don't produce double-digit hauls often, but can. There's going to be a fair few that will go safe, Mane, Salah, Jimenez, United attacker. Then there's a few that will go absolutely ridiculous, a very small few. Someone like TAA, Doherty, or Ings. Those three are completely out there picks. So just the fact that there's so many options means it could average out to pretty even split among the popular choices, or close to even. I don't know. What do you have to say on that?
No, I there's nothing I can really add to that. I completely agree with you. I like to use Fantasy Football Scout as the general consensus of the way most people go. Most of their polls usually get it right. I'm just trying to... You said you got 103 points. Are you in the... You are in the Cash Mini League, aren't you? The 100, the James Bank.
I am, but I wouldn't dox my real name and stuff. I don't know.
What's your team name?
My team name is Samata.
Ah, right. You're
widely transferred out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm that. Looking at I pulled out the Scout. I'm on the Scout website now and looking at the captaincy poll. Currently, it's Bruno leading the way.
Yeah.
With 841 votes. Salah on 650, Jimenez on 502. usually on Scout, there's like one or two that just pull away every week. But that doesn't seem to be the case this time around.
No, it's like you've been discussing with your specific free hit team. It's just all over the place at the moment. We don't know who to captain. It's just almost going to be like a toss of the coin. And I mean, I've personally got the safety on Mane, I think. So, because again, it just goes down to that thing of it's J&O said it J&O said it on his interview with FPL Surgery, and he just said that when you're doing rubbish at this game, i.e. me, what happens is that you go into panic mode where you decide to go differential for the sake of differential, because you think that if you go differential, you're going to really climb up high up in the ranks. Whereas if you just stick with safety, actually, so long as you've got like solid players around your captaincy, you're going to do okay. Very similar to what you're doing with your free hit. And I think that based on my team right now, I think I might just go with safety and Mane. I said it all along that I'm going to captain Mane against Crystal Palace. I could even bring in... I mean, there's a lot of people talking about Salah coming back tonight or whenever it is, Thursday or whatever.
Tomorrow night. Is it tomorrow or Thursday?
It's tomorrow, yeah, you are right. Tomorrow night against Crystal Palace. Maybe bringing in Salah at home to Crystal Palace. And didn't in I know it's virtual FPL, but didn't in virtual FPL he did really well in that, didn't he, in that game at home to Crystal Palace?
I mean, Salah tends to do better at Anfield in general.
Do you fear Salah this particular game week?
Like, I have enough money to switch to him if I hear talk that maybe he's looking good in training today, or I don't know, because I feel like whether he starts or not, Mane, having played a game, is going to be sharper. But at the same time, Salah at Anfield, can't resist that. And there's going to be a lot of dead teams captaining him, because I'm not so far ahead that everyone around me is active. There could be just a bunch of dead teams up there where I am that have Salah permanent captain and has got them where they are now. So again, I could switch back to Salah. I have the money to do it.
But did Mane, I mean, going back to Mane, did Mane do enough for you where you thought, you know what, I can see him unlocking that Crystal Palace defence? Because from my point of view, the answer was no. My favoured captaincy is probably Fernandez or Jimenez. One of the two, to be honest with you, because what I saw.
I mean, they're my captain and vice right now. At least when I sent that screenshot.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely don't want both of them, both Salah and Mane, but I might be like, again, I'll get some news out of Liverpool, how they're training today, because there could still be a time that Salah doesn't even start at Palace still.
Yeah. So we're approaching 5 o'clock this evening. You're pretty much almost set with this team. What's going to change your mind, changing out certain players? I.e., will you bottle it and bring in Kevin De Bruyne as an example? Will you bottle it and go 3 at the back, 4 in midfield, 3 in strikers? What do you think?
I don't. Well, the early match is Leicester, and if for some odd reason I hear that Vardy is not starting, then I might, because I mean that's very unlikely. But Leicester do have a cup game this weekend.
Yeah, I think that if I get guaranteed news from Klopp that Salah is definitely going to play, I think that, I don't know, there was something about his body language. He was gutted about not being able to come on. He was gutted.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even used. He could have played those final 20 minutes and unlocked that Everton defense. Maybe snatched home a late one.
But there he is here. I can bring it up on screen now. This was Salah after being left on the bench. He's just a very frustrated looking figure there. I think that he's thinking I could have done something in this game to win us all 3 points. And he
definitely could, yeah.
They've got to get, 5 points now, isn't it? There's 5 points they've now got to get out of the next 8 games. And, I mean...
Yeah, since City beat Burnley, they can't win the title against Palace.
Yeah. So that match against City is going to be essentially coming down to the championship decider. I mean, you couldn't script this, could you? You just cannot script this whatsoever. At the start of the season.
I actually thought when Liverpool were cruising, I'm like, what if that City game ends up being the title decider? They win it on the former champions ground.
Yeah. It's well, we've only got a few days before it.
And if not, then they could win it against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Latest.
It's just a question of will they? Well, they won't, but could they bottle it against Crystal Palace? They won't. But BNMC, it's been an absolute pleasure you coming on this morning. Have you got any final thoughts before we let you go?
I mean, I think I've defined it myself pretty well. This is an absolutely crazy free hit team, but gotta do it. Gotta chase those upsides.
I really like it. I think it's fantastic. I think. What about What about Coleman in for Digne? There was something about Coleman which I liked on whatever day it was when they were playing Liverpool. Thought about maybe Coleman instead of Digne, or just no, stick with Digne. He's on set pieces. Stay safe.
Yeah,
so to
too.
speak.
That's. I mean, I don't call it safety. I call it looking for more routes to points.
Well, I really like that team, and I wish you all the best for that, because it's going to be fascinating to see what you do. You're a regular contributor to the show, so we'll find out at some point today what you eventually ended up doing. Fantastic. BNMC, thank you for coming on. Been brilliant. There we are. There's BNMC there discussing his free hit team. Absolutely, I like it. I really do. I think it's gorgeous. To be honest with you, I really do like that. But up on screen right now is my wildcard team, and I did say that I just wanted to go through a quick thought processes. What's I'm thinking about. Although I know Fantasy Football Focus was asking about the price rises that happened last night, and unfortunately, it's all the popular ones, which you believe, that have gone up in price. So if I just bring them up on screen now, and you'll be able to see specifically who's gone up and down, and it is as follows. So we have Ings. It's the usual story here. It is Rashford, Fernandes, Ings, Jimenez all going up by 0.1, and then Lacazette, Leno, Samatta, Sane, Igalo, O'Connell, Fleck and Bowen all going down in price. I don't think they're going to have too much of an effect, because I think a lot of people would have almost immediately got rid of them. But those four there, Jimenez, Ings, Fernandes, Rashford, all going up by 0.1. Two of them, in Ings and Rashford, I'm debating on which one to have. And I've now missed out on that price rise by 0.1. So I may not be able to get the team that I kind of want. And yeah, just to quickly go through my team thought process. So the players that I'm essentially debating on whether to have or not are as follows. So Nick Pope. Basically, it's a case of, do I go with Patrizio or Pope? Lascelles, swapping him out for Richie. Kevin De Bruyne and Mane, they're a lock. Depending on this news about Salah, but they're pretty much a lock. Fernandes, another one, he's a lock. I'm not getting rid of the... In fact, I can make it easier on screen. Now, this is when I feel like I'm doing an Andy from Let's Talk FPL. It's ironic, really, isn't it? Because what I'm about to say is completely really weird, but I personally don't enjoy doing this now. I hate it. I find it boring to do for you guys listening in. I don't see what's interesting about this. However, if I hear Jason doing this, when I hear Andy doing this, when I listen to Planet FPL talking about wildcard strategies and I actually find it really, really interesting. So I'm going to contradict everything I've just said, and I'm just going to continue chatting about what my thought processes are regarding my wildcard team. So yeah, the players that are locks, like I said, are as follows. So Wan-Bissaka, I'm pretty much set with a United defender. I'm happy with that. Alexander-Arnold, of course. Doherty, absolutely. Mane, pretty much, yeah. De Bruyne. Now, depending on my strategy regarding who I play, whether it be a 3-5-2 or a 4-5-1. Yep, that's right, a 4-5-1 I'm seriously contemplating. Son, like I said, I'm just not that interested by Tottenham. There's just something about them. They just don't interest me per se from an attacking perspective. But Rashford's another one, meh. Yeah, I've got Nketiah, 4.4, whatever, just a playing striker just in case. But these players up on screen now are an absolute lock. So Wan-Bissaka, Alexander-Arnold, Doherty, Fernandes, Mane and Jimenez. It's then a question of which players I kind of want to be playing around with. I really do want double Wolves defence, and I can't really do that in a 3 or a 4 backman backline. So the easiest way to do it from my point of view is by going with good old Patrizio. That's the easiest way I can do it with. It's 5.2, but I think that Wolves are solid enough defensively to make me feel that they're going to keep clean sheets. I don't care about bonus points. I don't give a damn about them. I'm just happy to have a player. Like I said, I just fear for Burnley, to be honest with you. But I could change that in a minute, depending on funds. At Newcastle, so I do... The fact that it's sounding like Richie is going to be playing out of position, I personally like the idea of having an out of position playing defender. It's 5.3 though, but I'll happily put it in. I've then got 4 spots to fill. Now, to keep banging on about, I either go with a 4-5-1 and swap out the one striker in which I feel has got the better chance of returning me more points, obviously, who's got the better fixture basically, but that's why my headspace goes. But surely you kind of want to be more approaching it from the fact that maybe just have both of those strikers. So let's just stick in Danny Ings. Let's just stick him in, and it's kind of looking like it's going to end up with me playing a 3-5-2, but again, it's that headspace of, yeah, but this is the trouble with doing all this. Looking at everything from various different angles. Are defenders the best way forward? It's like G-Wiz said a minute ago. Everybody talking about goals galore before the season kicked off. Now all of a sudden it's like clean sheets. It was the first game back. Appreciate that. Players not looking sharp on form. Maybe now the games have been played, they know what they're in for. They know what they're going to be getting themselves in for, so maybe they may up their game. Or maybe some of them may just think, you know what, that was a lot easier than I expected. I'm going to take my foot off the gas. Maybe that's the case. I mean, if I was to go with a 4-4-2... A 3-5-2. Get rid of Richie. Get rid of Patrizio. I then have, this decision is going to go on and on and on, and this is kind of like the dilemma I'm going through at the moment. Really, the key is that do I really, really, really want Rashford? The simple answer is no. That's the main contentious one. Do I really want to go with Rashford? No. I'd rather go with Ings. So let's just whack an Ings in there. Happy with that. And then it's just then looking around for maybe getting rid of Son for... Well, Lascelles out for Richie. Richie almost seems like a really nice pick to go with. I think it's almost like a glamorous pick in a way. The fact that he is out of position. Newcastle have got a bit of freedom now. There's a chance that he could get a penalty. So there would be a 4-4-2. Let's just quickly confirm those transfers. It means no triple United, and they have got the best fixtures. So I'd be playing around with getting in Martial, possibly for Son. Going back with the 3-5-2 formation, or stick with the 4-4-2 formation. And that could be it come 5 o'clock. But I'll be playing around with this, not all day. I'm not going to be playing around with it all day. It'll be literally like the last hour. I'll have a bit of fun with it. But I'm virtually settled on this team here, to be honest with you. I think probably get rid of Nick Pope, actually, for Patrizio, sorry. So, Nick Pope out for Patrizio. And I'd be pretty much settled with this specific team here. I have no confidence in my own team in Burnley. To be completely frank, I think I've seen it all before. I think we're just on the beach. I saw it in the virtual FPL game where we all expected. This is the thing with virtual FPL. What was fun about it is that you could just kind of like base your team all on an algorithm, all on this stuff, but it didn't matter what happened. Burnley Lewis Kirkby was going absolutely mental at all of this. Let's just quickly bring on one caller, just quickly. Let's just see what King Kun has to say about whatever. Hello, King Kun. King Kun, are you there?
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, King Kun. What have you got to say to the nation listening in right now?
I don't want to. Can that game week just finish? I'm over it already.
Which one's this? Gameweek 31?
No, game week 30.
Gameweek 30
seriously.
has finished. Tell us why. What disappointed you about it?
It's just the captaincy all season. Seriously, my vice captain's outscoring my captain all year.
Where are you in the Cash Mini League?
No, I'm not in the Cash Mini League. I'm in the James Bang Mini League.
Sorry, that's what I'm referring to. The James Bang Mini League. Where are you? When there's no roughly about it. Where specifically are you?
In the James Bang Mini League, I'm 47th. So, yeah, it was just a bad game week.
So you're a few points ahead of me. In fact, you got 4 points more than me. I'm like Fantasy Football Focus in the 99 club. So tell us about your frustrations about this game that's just happened. What have you learnt from this game week that's just happened?
What I learnt is that City are going to rotate till the end of the season.
Yep.
That's what I learnt. I learnt that Gabriel Jesus is a must. Later on in the season is probably a must-have because he's probably going to be the only striker playing for Man City. So that's what I gathered from that. I think I'm going to hold my Aston Villa players maybe for next week for Game Week 31 because I think they'll do the job on Newcastle. Well, I predicted Brighton to win and it happened. So I think Aston Villa is going to be my pick this week. So yeah, I did 3-4 transfers, Stevo.
Oh, just 2 seconds. We've got Dread FPL that said he's taken a -8. So you've taken what, a -12?
Yeah, -12. -12 I did. I actually watched the Newcastle game versus Sheffield United and I thought Sheffield were ordinary. I really do. I thought they were ordinary. And I think Man United could literally... I could see a 5-0 there. I really do.
Sorry, who's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
I can see Man United actually...
Oh, Man United,
slapping.
sorry. Right.
I could actually see a 5-0 in that game. I know it's Sheffield United, but
Why do you
Mike
say...
Henderson is just a freak. I actually watched Henderson the last two game weeks, the amount of the amount of shots that he keeps out, he's so good. He's a really good goalkeeper and makes the defense look better than what they really are. And now, plus they got Egan suspended. O'Connell's I don't know, man. I think Man United could do a number on him, but that's just my opinion.
We had obviously BNMC just a minute ago saying that he's almost pretty much certain he's going to go with Fernandez captaincy. So who? Sorry, you didn't actually. Who were the 3 transfers that you brought in? Sorry, the 4. Sorry.
So I took out John McGinn. I replaced John McGinn for what was his name? Bruno Fernandes, right?
Yes.
I took out Aguero. I brought in Rashford. I took out Sterling and put in Martial, and I took out Lundstrom and put in Doherty. So they're my 4 transfers.
Nice.
I think my team's in the team screenshots, the Steve. I think I placed it. I don't know if you can do it, put it on or not.
I think
But,
that is a beautiful team. That is.
yeah, I did them.
You're going Rashford
I did them on.
captain.
Yeah, Rashford captain. I'm going this week. So we'll see how it plays out.
So you stick with Nyland, then you just it's whatever. It's not a what do you call it? A desperate situation. You're willing to stick with Henderson for the rest of the season. I've got to say that is a beautiful looking team here. Really, really nice. I like that a lot. I like it. What's your if you had a wild card, what are you thinking about? Again, I'm not specifically asking you for advice, but what are you thinking about my thought processes regarding my wild card? Me thinking of going 4 at the back, maybe a 4-5-1 formation, or just stick with the 4-4-2 that I'm pretty set on. Really, it's just a question of like swapping in and out certain players.
Yeah, but it depends, Steve, how you want to make your team. Like, my team's structured for a 3-4-3. So,
Yes.
I don't know if you want to play. If you have Trent, you have to play 4 at the back, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of value in defense now, I think, personally. So, yeah, and there can be budget options. Like, I think Triple United's a must, whether it's midfield and attack or 2 midfielders and defender. Probably Maguire or Aaron Wan-Bissaka outscore Rashford, right? Maybe it happens, but I'm willing to take the punt on Rashford. It's a flip of a coin. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, looking at this team here, it's the classic thing of, are you putting the captaincy on that differential for the sake of differential to climb you up the ranks when you could put it on, say, a quote-unquote safety option in Fernandes? I think from your point of view, go for it. I mean, you're only playing now for the James Band Cash Mini League, aren't you? That's all you've got to play for, I'm assuming.
Yeah, everyone's going to captain Bruno Fernandes, okay? So, like, I understand that, but, like, if Bruno Fernandes keeps going the rate he's going, he has to blank somewhere. Not blank, but I'm pretty sure Pogba's going to steal a few points off him here and there. Yeah. But I don't know, man. But like, if he's going at this rate, he's a must next season. Literally, you have to have him.
Pogba, do you reckon starts tomorrow? He's got. I think he should.
I think full lineup will be tomorrow. I think Man United are gonna show the world that they're back on track.
How much is Pogba? Tomorrow. How much is he?
I don't know. Where's Dre? Is he in the chat? Dre, how much is Pogba? I don't know how much Pogba is actually, but he's expensive. I think he's like 8 million or something.
Is he 8 million? Is he? Because I'd be really, really. I tell you what. The triple up of Man United of Pogba, Martial, and it was 8.3. Is he?
Yeah, 8.3.
8.3. I just don't think he's worth. For me, anyway, I don't think he's worth it.
He's not worth it.
Geordie Kev, welcome, pal. Morning, dude, or afternoon, evening, whatever it is. And I know Dan's here. Morning, Dan. Why aren't you working? What was I saying? So yeah, Kev saying that he's done Aguero and Grealish to Rashford and Son. Yep. Anyone captain Sonny against an awful West Ham? I've got to be honest with you. My biggest dilemma is Son in my team. I don't trust Spurs. I've never liked them. I think they're just useless. And Dan, enjoy the voice messages, mate. I think you will. Enjoy your day of work. I'm just in the contentious moment of Son. When you play something like this, and from my point of view, I just think that just get rid of Son and actually go with a team that you actually enjoy. And Son, for me, just does nothing for me. I'd rather have someone like Martial. I'd rather have Pogba or something. But what do you think on just Son? Not advising me about whether I should add him or not, just Son in general. What are your thoughts on him?
I don't know, man. Like, seriously, I don't want to stir trouble with Booner and Brew. But
just do it, please. Just do it.
What are Tottenham playing for? What are Tottenham playing for? What are Tottenham playing for? Nothing.
Let me just interrupt you there, right? The one thing that frustrates me about a lot of callers, you've just done it just now, right? With a lot of callers, they come on here and they go, I don't want to upset X person, in your case, Boone or Brew. Just bloody say it. Nothing's going to happen. I want to hear your thoughts on a player regarding whether it's fantasy football or just in general. Tell us why you don't like Son. Tell us.
So I like Son as a player, but I don't like him in my team because he just doesn't sit. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like Tottenham's on holiday. That's what I feel. So there's no way I'm gonna put him in my team.
And gee whiz, sounds like Steve-O's scared to play his own game exactly, and that's why I'm gonna get rid of Son. I think. I think I'd rather. Did he do anything for you, Son, in the game against Man United, which suggested, you've got to have him?
I don't know, man. I just don't rate Spurs this season at all. So I've been off him. When I've been on him, I've been on him. But when I've been off him, I've been off him. And I'm off him right now. So that's what I feel. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
I'm just going to quickly...
This is a big London derby game for West Ham. Like, I can still see Spurs winning, but I don't know.
What's your prediction for that game?
I got 1-1 in that game.
1-1?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not expecting Tottenham to turn it around like they should have done against United, in the sense of just go for it. I mean, let's just look at Son's history this season. 9 goals, 9 assists. He has played 1,834 minutes. He started every game under Mourinho. Oh, it's a tough decision. Okay, here's the question for you. Do you put Son in your wildcard team, yes or no?
No.
Everybody in chat, is Son, if you had a wild card, would Son be in your team? There's a lot of people that have brought him in. Wow, it's all coming in. Yes, it's the Daniel Bryan. Yes. A lot of people.
Yeah, but so was Aubameyang last week, but he flopped. And I didn't have an Arsenal player. And I don't know, man, like, horses for courses, as they say, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to go for your gut. You got to go for your gut. I played this game on instinct. So, I don't know.
I think you're right, Kun. Go with your gut. And my gut was always a 3-5-2, but... Then I've kind of been persuaded by the defenders, so it's probably going to be a 4-4-2 and getting rid of Son. King Kun, have you got any final words before we wrap up the show?
No, actually, it will be quite interesting. This game week's going to have some different captain options. I feel that's the one thing I found this game week. So, like I've been tossing between Vardy and Rashford all week, but at the moment it's on Rashford because I just feel Sheffield United are going to get slapped.
Yeah, I predicted 2-0, a safety scoreline, but I think that it could be, like you said, 3 or 4. That's what I'm thinking, and I reckon I'm going to go Fernandes captaincy, personally. Just actually one question for you, actually. The Liverpool game against Crystal Palace, what are you thinking on that?
So if Chelsea beat Man City, Liverpool can win the league at Palace, yeah? I'm pretty sure. Or draw. I don't know.
I don't know the maths, but
I think Liverpool should win, but who knows? They might extend the league for one more week against City. Who knows?
Yeah. Right, and
but anyways, thanks for having me on to share my thoughts.
No, thank you, and good luck, mate. We'll find out tonight.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying
good one.
Before you go? Are you enjoying this quick turnaround of games? Because me personally, I am.
Yeah, I am. I like it, but you got to be on every day now, pretty much. Not every day, but it's going to be for the people that play. That 25% or 30% of players that play, it's actually not bad. Because the season will get done faster, Steve. Man, I'm over this year, so I want to start my team for next season.
We mentioned that last night. I'm a bit concerned about that. The fact that the turnaround for the brand new season to start, getting all the players in. We saw how long it took the FPL Towers to sort out this specific, the last 9 games for this game. I'm wondering how difficult it's. I mean, behind the scenes, they're going to be probably looking at the game now. But I don't know what the coding is or anything like that, and it's going to be interesting to see when the game actually launches. It'd be hilarious if it launched like a week before the new season kicks off. That would be really funny. Anyhow, King Khan, thank you.
Yeah, have a good one, Stevo. All the best this week.
You too, mate. There's King Khan joining me this morning, and I think that pretty much wraps up everything. Jacko, yes, I did see it, and he's always frustrated. We don't give him money. We've got injuries. He's a frustrated figure at our club. Not frustrated in the sense of he doesn't want to be there. He's just frustrated with how things are. Funny enough, a bit like with me when it comes to fantasy football. Just certain things just frustrate the living hell out of me. But I'm happy doing this. It's like things like this I really, really enjoy doing. FPL Youssef in the Chelsea game. I can't wait to see Foden versus Gilmore. Yeah. FPL Fuzzy said, I just wish people didn't have chips. Creates too much frustration in this game. Archie Kendall, who's everybody captaining then? As Cameron Morpheus says, too many headaches. Right then, Keyboy made some big wildcard moves this week. Got to bounce back from Champions League exit. Watch this space. Right, that is the breakfast show wrapped up, ready and finished. And yeah, we will be back. I won't be back, but Jason will be back tonight, covering Spurs versus West Ham. Ooh. He said he doesn't want to cover it. He says that he thinks it's going to be a really boring game. I don't have a clue. I'm going to find out tomorrow morning what the score will be. I'll be listening into the stream the following morning. So, and as Archie Kendall says, he's going to be in the Discord. So if you want to go into Discord, enjoy it. The link's in the description. It's the usual story. If you enjoyed the show, simply hit the like button. If you're completely brand new around here and you've enjoyed the content myself and Jason are producing, hit the subscribe button. Other than that, have a good day. I am going to Burn. It's going to be absolutely beautiful today. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to wash my car, drive to my favourite desolate land, do some chin-ups and burn. Other than that, see you later.